Since 1947, Sanderson Farms has maintained the same hometown values of honesty, integrity, and innovation that were established by the Sanderson family more than 70 years ago. At Sanderson Farms, we like to keep things the way nature intended, meaning we don't add anything to our fresh chicken. No additives, no artificial ingredients, no preservatives. Our chicken consists of one single ingredient, 100% natural chicken. As the third largest poultry processor in the United States, Sanderson Farms is absolutely committed to the health and safety of our chickens. By operating our own feed mills, we maintain complete control over what our birds consume at every stage. We staff in-house veterinarians and nutritionists who ensure our corn and soy-based diets contain all the protein, energy, vitamin, and mineral requirements necessary to grow healthy poultry. We do not use hormones or steroids in our chickens, which, even if available, have been banned in the United States for more than 50 years. Our biosecurity procedures are focused on the safety of our chickens by limiting exposure to disease threats as much as possible. Viruses, bacteria, insects, wild animals, pets, and people all pose some risk, and that's why we limit visits to farms unless they're necessary for the well-being of the flock. Further, we advise all employees, growers, and visitors in live production to avoid contact with any other avian species. Owners and workers at farms cannot own or harbor any other bird species and are not allowed to visit any other poultry farms. Sanderson Farms must approve any visitor before they're allowed on any of our farms. Even Sanderson Farms personnel are considered visitors, since they tend to visit more than one farm on a given day. Tires and undercarriages of visiting vehicles are sprayed at the farm gate prior to entry. We post a clearly visible biosecurity sign at each farm entrance. If non-farm personnel must enter chicken houses when birds are present, they're required to cover themselves with poultry protective equipment, not to protect the personnel, but to protect the chickens from any potential contaminants that could be brought in. All entrants are required to use disinfecting foot baths before entering any chicken house. All farm visitors, including Sanderson Farms employees, sign a visitor log, providing ready documentation for veterinarians to trace effects of on-farm activity upon the health of the flock. Before entering in among the flock, farm owners, employees, and visitors must thoroughly wash their hands or cover them with disposable examination gloves. Sanderson Farms service technicians check the flock history recorded daily by the farmer. This includes water and feed consumption, mortality, any abnormalities, as well as temperature and brightness of the lighting. Technicians check to see that feed and water lines are charged appropriately and in good repair. They monitor the function of equipment controlling environmental temperature to ensure that it's appropriate for the time of year. Overall flock health is also assessed, and any ill or injured birds are treated as necessary to maintain flock health. Any mortalities are removed for appropriate disposal. After use, all the poultry protective equipment stays on the farm to prevent anything being carried from one flock to another. Personnel also disinfect their shoe soles prior to entering company vehicles and their hands once inside the truck. Upon entering a breeder house, one sees that our birds live in a spacious house designed with reproduction in mind. Translucent curtains with special interior lights enhance sunlight, creating an internal spring for chickens and lengthening their reproductive life. Elevated surfaces provide a clean, uncrowded feeding area, while slatted floors keep feces and other debris away from the hens. Roosters are fed on a litter-covered floor to encourage them to stay down on the ground where their contribution typically takes place. Technicians routinely visit looking for good distribution of males and females, bird behavior, and any eggs that weren't laid in the nest. They also inspect nest boxes for hens that may have stayed in the nest too long. Hens prefer to lay eggs in quiet, dark, covered areas, so we provide nests for their comfort. In order to not disturb the egg-laying process and to make egg gathering more efficient, a belt out of the hen's sight moves the eggs from the nesting box to an egg gathering area several times a day. Eggs are collected from the belt outside the hen house, hand-packed in flats, and placed into farm racks for cooling. Cooling the eggs puts the embryo into true suspended animation, so that when the eggs are warmed to incubation temperatures, they will develop into chicks precisely 21 days later. This entire setup mimics a hen's natural incubation process, and just as naturally, all the chicks hatch within hours of each other, even if the eggs are laid up to a week apart. Hatchery personnel pick up farm racks twice a week in refrigerated trucks and carry them to the cool egg room at the hatchery. Typically within 1 week of being laid, eggs are moved from farm racks into incubator setter racks and rocked for 18 days, then transferred to a hatcher to finish out the 21 days of incubation. Once an egg becomes a chick, it's removed from the hatch basket, selected for viability, and placed into a farm transport basket with its hatchmates. Any non-viable chicks or embryos are humanely euthanized by methods approved by the American Veterinary Medical Association. Through our animal welfare programs, hatcheries are audited at least twice a year by both internal and third-party auditors, assuring that hatchlings are handled in a safe and humane manner and that our growers receive only optimal chicks. While chicks are confined to transport boxes, we spray them with aerosolized vaccines. Stacked boxes of chicks are palletized and placed on specialized delivery trucks for safe delivery to their new home. Our broiler houses are specifically designed for the growth stage of life, with wide, open spaces ensure that birds are comfortable and safe while being provided unlimited access to plentiful supply of food and drink. Broiler house populations encourage maximal growth for the birds and optimal use of space for the contract farmer. With farmers typically carrying a 15-year loan on farms, each contractor is fully committed to long-term success in their growing operation. Technicians look at the well-being and distribution of birds and their behavior in general. Like youngsters of other species, chickens can be aggressive towards one another, especially in bright light. To reduce unacceptable behavior, lights may be dimmed to create a more subdued environment and encourage more relaxed interactions. Once broilers reach the desired market size, they are hand-caught, put into wire-sided pens that are then loaded onto tractor trailers for a quick trip to the processing plant. This is the only time our chickens are ever caged, and here they're caged for their protection during transport. At no point are Sanderson Farms broilers ever injected with anything, and there are never any antibiotic residues in our broilers when they go to market. By federal law, all chicken must be clear of antibiotics before they leave any farm. No chicken products sold in the U.S. contain antibiotics. Sanderson Farms is proud to have one of the highest livability ratios in live production of anyone in the industry. We are committed to providing the highest quality, 100% natural chicken for our satisfied customers. This is how we grow chickens at Sanderson Farms.